Hello and welcome everyone back to the masterclass with me, the Dyslexic Gamer, and my players as always. So, we are coming close to the end of Season 2. In the last episode, our Inquisitorial Acolytes had met two more Inquisitors and one Grand Master Inquisitor. Yeah. After a couple of days, 3 in total, of questioning about what Magnus has been doing, which was presented as a interrogation of Inquisitor Magnus and his retinue, was more along the lines of a long debrief with fellow Inquisitors, as both Gregorius and Latilla, god damn it, let me cover that up. Both their investigations in the Ultramar Segmentum had both pointed in the same direction, this world. So finding out that Magnus was also here and that, he'd actually gone quiet over here, led them to investigate further. And after a number of these incidents that they investigated were very similar to the Scolam, which the party investigated, and the Archaeotech device on the mining world, which the party also investigated, it was very clear that Magnus was not up to no good, and in fact was doing the God Emperor's work. And it just so happened that he had encountered their long-term nemesis. So, as the interrogation style interview debrief concluded, there were breaks and the group were not under duress at any point, so they were able to be basically well rested for, I believe it's day 4, as you come out to the circular table, large circular table, whatever you, with the Inquisitors sat round. The Grand Master is also still there, although Winters will know most of the time he is on the news sphere doing other stuff. His consciousness is very rarely in the room with the group. The topic of Egulus comes up. So, the Grandmaster's internal cognite bank seem to spin up again. Dust and shit comes flying out from, dust and particles. I shouldn't say shit, they might take it literally. Come flying out as he retrieves some very old data. Egulus, a world that was marked extremis and eradicated from imperial history. Little data is known of what heresy took this world. However, it is fragmented and there are some reports. The Inquisitor in question for ordering the most extreme version of Exterminatus was, of course, Inquisitor Electo. This is some 350 years before his heresy became illuminated by your actions, Magnus. And any data on what they did. Techno heresy of the greatest order. However, no Mechanicus individual of that time period, Adeptus Mechanicus individual of that time period was able to give testimony to what the Inquisitor claimed. The Adeptus of Mars sent a vessel to investigate. It was lost to the warp and was never seen from again. However, Although the primary world was virus bombed and exterminated, the two moons circling it were not. One is a mining colony, little atmosphere and tough working conditions. The second is a jungular death world. There is an outpost set up by one rogue trader household, and it would seem as if their house is in possession of one Serpent's Herald. Its last known locations were above the world of Agua The Inquisitor brings forth a data slate. Sorry, it's above the world of Santa Fe and the hive world of Agua I always forget that. It's Santa Fe, the planet. Magnus brings forth his data slate. The rogue trader captain of the Lustful Maiden says that he is able to track the Serpent's Herald's whereabouts. I believe he is more than certain that we can trust his tracking information. Although it still has not left the warp yet. He still does not know its exact location on a galactic map. Logically, then, Magnus, it would be going towards its holdings. If we use what data we have, we will, I'm sure, logically determine that its location will be that of the moon world that he has family ties to. Egulus 3 will be a safe harbor to him. A large galactic map opens up and zooms in. Again, this is on the Ark Mechanicus vessel, so for most of you, this is the finest thing you've ever seen in terms of holographic technology. The Emperor's Profiteer had good holographic technology and mapping information. This thing is exquisite. As the galaxy zooms in onto this section of space, a highlighted mark where Santa Fe is, and then another highlighted mark to the moon in question that you must go to, Egulus 3. The journey would normally take estimated 3 weeks to 6 weeks, given the warp fluctuations within this sector. Then we are to wait here and hope that we find that the Serpent's Herald is there, or we are to push on. I'd rather know for certain that this is the location we need to be at, Grandmaster, and I'm sure my acolytes will want to use this time to prepare themselves properly, as it seems only right that we visit the Death World first. See no reason to bother the mining world. On that note, I do ask your permission to continue my investigation and to assist in requisitions that me and my party will require for such an endeavor. Magnus, you are aboard an Ark Mechanicus vessel. There is much the Omnisire can provide to you, but we are not other ordos. There is only so much our name will carry. Understood. Sergeant Kroon, if you'll present my offering. Sergeant Kroon enters the room. She was not here before. She carries a large tray with a black silk cover that covers a very large device. You imagine it's a rather large jar of some sorts. Although the tray, if you do look round, it's odd. It's at one, like the jar is at one side as if there is another item on the tray. It's not long before Sergeant Kroon approaches, places the tray on the table, and with a nod from Magnus, she removes the silk cover. There is a Necron head within a jar, floating in a solution. There's also a small Necron device that is placed next to the head.
What?
Grandmaster, I present some trophies. I cannot guarantee he will answer, but I have used this device. He gestures away from the head and towards the small device on the tray. I have used this device before to contact a certain Necron lord. Its value is almost certainly priceless. At the moment, it is gaining a small charge from what my tech priests were able to tell me from the head in the jar. It is, of course, under a poor quality stasis field. I request a killing strike and all Astartes aboard. As soon as the Necron head is revealed, for Winters, you would know as soon as Sergeant Kroon enters, certain programs on the newsphere, certain orders are being cancelled out. Programs and power fluctuations in the ships, plasma reactors are being closed off as more things are being done by the Grandmaster that you're not aware of. You imagine more scanny things are happening. The Grandmaster takes his full attention off the newsphere as the silk sheet is removed, and there's you would notice, all of you would notice the happy, like, vibrating fish eating at water, gyrating thing that happens at the front of his chest. Many thousands of little hands, like, putting their fingers together and clicking.
I'm leaning over to Winters and actually asking, what's with the metal skull?
Why is there a robot?
What's with the big servitor head? Why isn't it a jar?
Hang on. I need to go find the video real quick. This is Winter's brain right now. It's timestamped.
Okay.
Oh, that gives me such memories. Such memories.
Is the gerbil still alive inside the head? That's the good question.
I haven't ever encountered dial-up in real life, and that still does it.
I remember that was the only way you could get on the internet back in the day.
Even I heard.
Yeah. Dial-up isn't that long ago.
Yeah.
Use that shit a
I
bunch.
mean, it was definitely older than me.
Bastard.
Okay, Mr. fucking thanks before the dial-up.
Winters is just gonna turn to Magnus and just Since when did you have this?
He scratches his chin for a while and thinks, it's been a long time since that godforsaken planet where he mutters something and you hear heresy a few times. Can't quite make out the other mutterances. A long time.
Oh,
I am intrigued, yet also hesitant.
Well, it is not uncommon for warriors to take trophies from battle. I personally just happen to collect a few more trophies than most.
I would like to point out that in the Imperial Guardsman Primer, it is specifically forbidden to take Xenos trophies. Just as a side note. Anyway,
hang on a fucking second here. What are
Out
you
of
trying to
character.
turn it?
Out of character, not in this order. It is.
I mean, the Guard and the Inquisition act on a very different prerequisite, and I acquired this trophy whilst in the Inquisition, so I merely carried on a proud tradition of the Guard within to the Ordos.
Seems legit to me.
I shrug.
I honestly don't think I know what a fucking Necron actually is.
Yeah, neither do I. I'm just like,
I don't think I would either. I mean, battle salvage.
I know what Tau are because Tau are in my sector, but
For me, it's orcs and
Well-
heretics.
oh, there is Necrons in the Calixtus sector. Not the Calixtus sector. Fucking how do you call it?
Ghoul Stars?
No, it's
Caligori, Caligori. Where?
no, it's fucking what do you call it?
Tau Space, where High Fleet Hydra?
Please.
Oh no, there is actually fucking. Where the fuck is watch station area stationed?
Calixtus like the same sector that only war takes place in.
Yeah, I'm
Is
pretty
it?
sure.
Yeah,
I don't think it is. Oh, okay.
pretty sure it is. Anyway,
Jericho Reach.
Jericho Reach, that's it. Yeah, there are Necrons in the Jericho Reach.
Oh, very off topic.
The Grandmaster is just happily vibrating and weighing up certain, how much influence is this going to cost me? How much more of a heretic do I need to? He seems to mull this over for a few milliseconds before Winters can see that he's already preparing diagnostics chambers and sending tech priests of certain ranks to certain positions and so on and so forth.
I mean, considering the shape and composition of his ship, one more Necron skull won't hurt.
Oh, if only you knew. So the
I don't.
it's both brilliant and hilarious. So the Grandmaster basically has already put the orders through on the newsfeed, like informed the killing strike that it will be like before he actually tells Magnus that he's accepted. The servo skulls that seem to flock around him, a couple detach and come down and collect the tray and take it off into the roof rafters. Magnus, this is more than acceptable for me to make such an arrangement for you. I do question why you would need the whole ship when you have 2 rogue traders. I'll need them as escorts. I'll need it as an escort. I will continue requisitioning the Lustful Maiden and the the Profiteer as well. I will need as many hands on board as I can get, given the forces we may be up against. It'd be useful to have a number of options available. If that is your wish, Magnus, the question of the requisitions, we will do what we can within the Ordo. Outside of it will be in their hands. Magnus makes an accepting gesture. He doesn't bow, but he's kind of like, fair enough, okay, take the head then. To my acolytes, is there any information you would like to acquire from the Grand Master or the... he gestures at Gregorius and the Ciara? I think it's the Ciara. Attila, God damn it!
Sarah's somewhere else entirely, buddy.
Right, this one stays open in the corner, so I have the name constantly there.
I mean, Darius is curious what the story is with the skull, but I will hold off on that, asking that. Is there any intel on the Serpent's Kiss? This Serpent's Kiss faction, that's Rogue Trader House. What type of trade they made? What type of allies and such they have? All that good shit.
So that I don't have to keep doing Magos's or other people's voices. The maiden, the Serpent's Herald
Serpent's
is
Herald, sorry.
a ship that is owned, or the warrant is owned by one Captain Warner and Tony. Well, here you go. I'll put it in. I'll put it in chat. You can decipher the name for. I wrote this name down a long time ago. We'll just leave it at that.
Warner Anton Marsicus. Marsicus.
I think that's Antione Marcicus.
Hang on a fucking second. He had relations on the planet?
Did he now? Did he now?
Oh, fuck.
Well, Who knew? The Rogue Trader house is not is not actually a house. It is a company. The company is not marked to this world at all. The founding for the company's creation was in a distant sub-sector. So it's still within the same sector, but in a much further part of Ultramar. They had 3 ships. One ship was sold, or not sold, the captain of it was essentially the dowry was for the ship, and that Rogue Trader house just so happened to be where is Magnus's sheet? Inquisitor, there it is. Please tell me I actually have their name written down in my journal. If not, I have at least one person's name. So the Rogue Trader house, Magnus has a cigar from the lead lady's Uhu area. Is... Oh no, where did I... under gear. It's not Electo, that's the Lord Inquisitor's house. Jim, what can you remember the name of a certain rogue trader's house? I have it written somewhere. It's the one that we kind of revealed for Heresy of the splicing of human DNA with Xenos DNA. It is.
Hold on, I had to rack my brain a little bit.
Yeah, oh god damn it! I would have to go on to. It was written.
I'll go there. I'll go there. Don't worry about it.
It was written down somewhere. Like, well, you should really like have good note keeping. What shit ones like me.
I'm getting there. Hold on. How's Rycone?
The Rycone household. So, thank you, Jim. The ship was actually sold, given into a dowry to join with the Rycones. This left 2 ships of the company. One ship was reported lost on a trade run. It was lost, and its reactors have not been traced since. And the final ship, the Serpent's Herald, has reported very poor profits. So this is basically the data that is coming, that you're getting about the households. That they're making very poor profit. The business is basically bankrupt. And the leader of the business has not been heard of for months. But the ship's plasma reactor has been recorded, and so the debt collectors are able to say, well, your ship's still around, you're gonna have to sell the ship to. That's how you're how you're getting data. It's the open stuff that any scholastic level of clearance would get you. But as for the leader of the company, the captain of the Serpent's Herald, yes, he has not been seen for many, many months, going on quite possibly years.
Okay. Shit, I'm trying to think of what else. I don't know. I nothing's come to mind at the moment, honestly.
Did anyone else have any questions about the upcoming mission and or world? For the group of Inquisitors, not just, you can just ask Magnus if you want to know something from him.
Yeah.
What exactly are we going to be doing?
Well, I personally am hoping that we will find the Inquisitors that we are searching for. The last of the Rycones must be stamped out. If not, we will find the Electos. God damn it. The last of the Electos must be stamped out. If not, I would hope to find some lead onto the next world. But it's quite possible that we find the Serpent's Herald in orbit. We might be able to get more than just a breadcrumb trail to our next location. We may even capture them, her acolytes, those that left the planet In which case we may get a treasure trove of information.
Any more details on the world specifically? Like, is there you said it was just like a biological jungle?
So, the moon of Egulus 3 is designated as a jungle death world. The flora and fauna are quite dangerous, quite dangerous, which has led it to still be usable for the what it was marked down for was rare resource gathering, a hunting world, so pleasure to hunt creatures, to capture creatures, to send off to other parts of the Imperium for games, competitions, and so forth. Colosseums, where you need a lot of ferocious creatures. It doesn't have like a mineral resource output of any kind. There are some precious gems that come from the world. There are a number of dangerous creatures that are documented. There is a humanoid inhabitants on the moon. They are not worthy, probably to be the best word for it, to serve in the guard or in the manufactorums in any way, shape, or form, but they are still considered human. Just proto-primitive humans. There is still, you guys can, if you choose, do research on the world of Egulus to find out why it was destroyed. Just the data is fragmented. It will take months, well, months to actually figure out, to do an investigation, if you so choose. The moon, there's far more data on. The singular outpost is in a clearing of the jungle, and it is a little bit like Katachan. The jungle is quite fast growing and aggressive, but it's to nowhere near the ferocity. In Katachan, a day goes by and jungle regrows. Here, it's a week, and they have to go out and start cutting back the foliage to keep their essentially their gun line, their perimeter of clear jungle clear. There are a number of exotic elements that come from the world, things that are used in the pharmaceutical industry within the Imperium. As I said, the inhabitants are proto-humanoid. Their technology level is low, but they have scavenged a number of items from lost expeditions, hunting parties, and so on and so forth. So they can't make anything, but you never know. They may chuck a grenade at you. The world itself seems to be in a sweet spot for the world to have. Its climate is, again, very hot, humid. There's a lot of rainfall on the moon, but it doesn't have a particular hot or cold like our world. It's not just the equator, it's all over. That's jungle environment. However, there are a large number of mountains to the north and south. The North Mountains are more geologically, the southern most mountain tip is more geologically normal, whereas the northern mountain tip, since the record of the world, have seemed as if they've taken great impacts from stellar debris, is what the Mechanicus basically came to, leaving a large number of like impact crater type mountain ranges, almost as if the world at one point was struck multiple times by asteroid debris that caused great impact zones.
Okay.
And this is the area that the local inhabitants seem to dwell in. They are found further south from the northern hemisphere, we'll call it that for now, but they are not found in the southernmost hemisphere. That area is dominated far more by the larger creatures. And again, coming up on screen, there'll be huge snake-like creatures, and very large bat-ish like creatures as well. As again, going through, there'll be a number of different creatures that you could encounter. Most of them are some sort of, I'm just going to say, mutation of our world's creatures. So there'll be a gorilla type, a monkey type, or this, that, and the other. Most of them are nothing for you to worry about, except from like the huge creatures from down south. Could, like this huge snake could cause a problem. But most of the threats here, for carapace armor, you're going to be safe as long as you don't get, surrounded and surprised. There'd also be the felinids. I think it's the felinids type large cat creature that 40k has in abundance. There are many different varieties. It's a jungle variety. They're much smaller, but go in larger packs.
Okay. So not the catco variety?
No. These are basically just larger or smaller saber-toothed tigers for whatever the world's purpose has. They grow huge in 40k. Like, there are some that are as the same size as dinosaurs, but they're incredibly rare, and most of them were hunted to extinction in most cases.
Okay.
The local inhabitants have been known to use poisons and toxins, mainly gathered from the local fauna and flora that they hunt and gather. Again, it's more dangerous for hunting groups, people who are going to try and prove their abilities on their hunting prowess. For a kill team, this shouldn't be too difficult. Yeah, it shouldn't be too difficult on paper.
Hopefully.
And the Arc Mechanicus does have data of the planet, so the planet would come up on the hologram in the center of the table. Oh, sorry, the moons, the planet and the moons would appear, zooming in on the main moon. So is there anything else you guys would like to know about your next mission?
Will the ship remain in orbit to give us backup?
So
Extraction.
there are going to be 10 Astartes that will be taken from the strike craft. Those 10 will be on board whatever ship the Inquisitor is on board.
Right.
Some
So
of
there it
those
is to start.
10, some of them can be rented out for cheaper. So if you guys need an Astartes to come with you for whatever reason, there are at least 5 that are available to be rented out. The strike craft will be in orbit or will be undertaking missions that are fitting its role.
Okay.
The Arc Mechanicus vessel will be joining you for some of your journey. And then the rest of the journey, it will just be your small convoy of 3 ships. On a Astarte ship, so, small but mighty. And it will be up to you guys to decide how many of your resources you bring with you and what equipment you bring from off-world. As a reminder, you currently only have the equipment you could fit on the gun cutter and carry.
Yep. Okay. Anyone else have any questions?
Nothing I can think of right now.
Well, an upgrade for the gun cutter, but I probably should have listed that in the equipment list.
By all means, you have a few hours to add on. Okay then. Enough silence has gone by. As the camera zooms out the last time this series. This is where we come to the end of season 2. As our group are around the table, speaking to the Inquisitors, planning their next move, we move on into the future and the prologue for season 2, slightly. So, 2 years after our group leaves the hive world of Santa Fe, the planet of Santa Fe and the hive world of Aquafria. We'll start at the bottom, shall we? So, with a certain cult unearthed from this group, from this planet, a heresy rooted out, the group can add 3 influence.
Oh.
Ooh.
Nice.
The
Just always add
Emperor's
3 influence stuff.
the Emperor's crown. The bar group, most of the group first entered. Lizzie the barmaid is MIA, and John the barman, the group don't know, was killed in action defending their home on the date of 026.998 M41. The Arbites. The investigator Arbite, Thorn, was promoted and made in later years, we are 2 years on, a judge and put in charge of rooting out the heresy or the criminal elements, or heresy, that had taken root in Aquafria. The corrupt members of the Arbites and their enforcers would be rooted out. This is only partly due to the group's interactions, and part was, missed because we lost a player. So you only gain 2 influence for your efforts with the Arbites. Dodgy Dave and Mary Dave, the merchants from the lower hive, from the underhive, who were scraping by at the start of this game, selling knock-off Imperial Guard equipment and some stolen Imperial Guard equipment. With the patronage of the group, better known in this hive as the Raven Court gang and the club that they run, the Raven Court, moved up significantly in the merchant world. 2 years on from our group's departure, they are still doing fine business with the Raven Court, the Poison Kiss, and a number of other reputable, probably said that word wrong, businesses within the Middle Hive. They are only a dodgy equipment emporium, so you gain 2 influence for helping them. The Poison Kiss. Although the start with the group, the Poison Kiss were kind of flaky and didn't seem to want to trust them, over the past 2 years, their group has grown but lost much. Ceres Nightshade, the leader, has taken a leave from their group indefinitely. Urza has been left in charge of running the gang, and without her second in command, Tiffany, the gang has changed significantly. There is no more finesse within the gang. There is no more flair. There is more brutality. But this has kept the underhive in line. The girls have prospered. The men in their areas where their presence is strongest are repressed. But hey ho, I guess the ladies have to get one. Fortunately, the Poison Kiss are tempered.
Wow.
The Poison Kiss are tempered by their allies. The Acid Riot is no more and was destroyed and hunted down. They have no more patrons or leaders or headquarters. You do all the gangs together. The Wild Wardens are almost eradicated. Their leader, Alucard, who led a incredibly important strategical defense against the heretics. One of the few officers who were on comms giving precise orders to the remaining PDF enforcers and civilian militia, was recognized for his work to the Hive and was shortly after revealed to be a mutant and a heretic. As a member of a certain family, Alucard was sentenced to be burnt at the stake. However, from the intervention of the Inquisition, Alucard was enlisted into the Inquisition. However, he has been placed on this world as a sleeper agent. He will monitor this world for heresy, giving updates to the Inquisition, in particular, the Ordo Hereticus, ordered by Gregorius. He will be given a stipend from Inquisitorial Games upon this world to ensure that his team and him are able to function as intelligent sleeper agents for the world. The Wild Wardens were almost destroyed. Ah, okay. So yeah, it's not written down. So the Raven Court, the newest gang on the block, only around for some 3 years, give or take. 2 years on from our party's departure, they were left in charge by I can't remember her name now. So it's your barmaid and Urza. The Poison Kiss used this your bar as a meeting point where the Raven Court, the Poison Kiss, and the newly formed Wild Wardens would meet on intelligence gathering operations. Alucard was able to temper the Poison Kiss and give leadership and guidance to Urza. And I think it's not Jenny. I can't remember her fucking name. The barmaid for the Raven's Court, Mandy. That's the one. Who was also, thank you, Jim. Who was also a former member of the Poison Kiss. Worked well to rein in some of the more violent tendencies of the gang girl, along with the military leadership of Alucard. The 3 gangs have succeeded in bringing some sort of sustainability to the underhive and the middle hive and down, lower hive and underhive combined. You gain 3 influence to your characters.
Okay.
Moving on to Ceres. After the Inquisition formally left the world of Santa Fe, the old system of a planetary governess seemed to have failed. So the remaining noble houses elected a more democratical system where they would all vote for a council to lead them. The council would be led for 25 years, and then there'd be new elections within the nobles to elect the next 3 leaders. 2 leaders were elected. Ceres was appointed. She was appointed by the Lord Commander Jack Bon. Nope, that's the Rogue Trader Captain. Planetary Lord Commander Griffiths Asparta. Sure, whatever. The Lord Commander, as her final request upon leaving the world, he would elect Ceres Nightshade to be the 3rd. It was only a year after their formal appointment that the other 2 planetary nobles would put forth a vote for their leadership to be extended to 75 years per term. No surprises that would pass. 2 years after the group have left the world of Santa Fe, Agrafria is recovering nicely. The reforms that Ceres has pushed forward to gain allies in some areas and gain enemies in others has worked kind of well. You will all get 5 influence for your work on Agrafria as a with the nobles, essentially with Ceres. And
So they're putting that down as +5 influence for installing Ceres as dictator. Okay.
pretty much, give it another, few years.
So that is +15 total so far, correct?
Yes.
Yep. She's gonna get got by the Inquisition in the end. Like, so she did help a cult. She currently has a suspended sentence, basically.
Well, let's just say, eyes will be kept on her. The Scolam Terrenia. There were a number of children that were found there. There were a number of tutors that were captured. Many of the tutors were investigated further by the Inquisition. Only a fraction knew anything of what was going on. The former Inquisitorial acolyte, Ulftane, has been given temporary leave. No, hang on. He was an active. He is on. God, I had this worked out in my head beforehand, but words. He's on reserve. So Ulftane has been placed on the reserve list for Inquisitorial acolytes and has been left on this world to take up residence in the former Lord Commander's residence as another acolyte of the Inquisition on world to keep an eye on Heresy. Heresy! Right, so I believe that is everything on world to cover in a Fall-esque style.
What about the tech priest acolytes?
Yeah.
So the tech priests who weren't technically given a name or place on my list, they would gain reinforcements over the coming months from the local worlds in system and from the Forge worlds out of system. They would, in 2 years, take full control back over the Hive systems and have most things repaired to a certain degree. But you do not gain any influence with the Adeptus Mechanicus as a suspicious energy signal was detected. So the Grandmaster turned up and kind of got rid of any influence from the Mechanicus. Like, this is a heretical energy signature. Why is that?
Ah.
So, as we move away from this world, we head to a moon circling a dead world.
Jesus Christ, Eris.
You are met by a similar group of robed individuals. They have a cybernetic, in most cases, poor quality, in some cases, normal quality, in very rare cases, a good quality cybernetic eye in their right eye. Their left eye is covered with a purple eye patch, which is a piece of purple silk. They are in very dark, dirty purple robes as the individuals stand at attention. Each one of them clasps a piece of red paper. Their hands are long and thin, and it looks as if they've been worked to the bone, literally. Their hands have almost deformed in such that the skin on the tips of their fingers and the first 2 knuckles have almost been completely removed. But yet the scar tissue has healed over the wound. an incredibly old man comes forth, assisted by two other purple-robed individuals. He has a poor quality exoskeleton attached to him. His smallest of movements are incredibly loud and clunky. And he looks ancient. Without the device, he would probably be dead. He certainly wouldn't be standing, but he holds his own weight, kind of, as he greets the robed individuals.
My brothers, the prospect has changed.
God, old man voice. Jesus.
Immediately fucking blows his lungs out.
The prospect has changed. We have not seen such turmoil within the warp for a millennia. Yet, our goal grows closer. We may be at an end. They will come, and all the work will be completed.
One of the other robed individuals holds up a red piece of paper.
But Elder, its name appears again. It is stronger now, and it changes what we see daily. He has existed longer than us. We have seen prospects of him in the past, the present, and future. He is a abnormality. Not even the sorcerers, not even the gods know his actions. And what of mine, Master? My prospect changes. The two grow lighter as the others grow darker. What could this mean? If one's prospects change, and yet the outcome remains the same, young one, it matters not. Our goal is only the prospect. Ensure our partners know not of how close they have come, or how far they move away. Those prospects can always change again.
And what of us? The next robed individual holds up no paper.
We are irrelevant. You hold no prospect, thus you should not care or speak. Our duty will be done. The end is nigh. The Ashen King will be pleased.
As the heads of those that hold up pieces of paper, red paper, lower their head in solemn prayer, another individual comes up behind the one who spoke without holding up a prospect. There is a quick slicing sound, a gurgling as his blood is spread across the floor. His body soon dropped.
Warn our people to prepare.
An individual with violet eyes and red hair smiles as he turns and walks out of the cave-like structure. And that is the end of Season 2. I certainly hope you've all enjoyed Season 2 and are looking forward to Season 3. there is going to be a hiatus. Unfortunately, I am lazy and have work to do. I don't know how long the hiatus is going to be. We'll have to see how schedules work out and how other games play out. But yes, we will be back with a season 3 eventually. Is there anything my players would like to say at the end of the episode? Well, and the series. Season.
Bloody hell, we did a fuck ton of shit.
Also, I
pity the Space Marines that I'm going to bully the entire journey.
just as a, you spent 352 days in this campaign as players so far.
Almost a
Goddamn.
year. Almost.
There was some
David?
warp fuckery, but
Yeah.
you know, only some.
I still find when we invaded the Orc Rock one of the high points.
Fucking hell, that was fun.
That was a good moment.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully season
Oh hey,
3
use
will
your
be
psychic
far
power.
more.
Oh, that knocked off the entire fucking ship. Oh no!
One of the more funny applications of his powers.
As you're finally coming to the end of the investigation and slow moving, you'll be coming to more orkiness kind of episodes. It's like, combat, kill them all.
I think also her first mass murder was the burning of the disco. Was it?
Oh
club.
yeah,
That was our first mass murder, I think.
yeah.
First mass murder.
Yeah, I'm
You're
trying
not
to
wrong.
think if
But
there
I
was a
just-
second one.
I mean, I did toast the entire nightclub.
I mean, over 300 bodies, or was it 400 anyway?
It was a lot.
You wiped
Difference
out
between
a
300 and 400 is academic.
you,
Yeah,
you wiped
don't
out a small
don't
village.
use flamers in a.
You wiped
It was
out a
a
small
flamer.
village. Remember, that's kind of almost
I
mass
I
murder.
mean, that was
I
a
mean, that
heretic
was-
village.
I mean, they were cornates. They had it coming, really.
They're not people.
Exactly. I still think, though, my personal favourite moment was cooking over dead bodies and then feeding it to the team and it being perfectly fine because I
Some-
actually rolled well on the cook and the lie.
Summoning rats so you could kill them, cook them over a corpse that was burning, and then feeding them to the party. But actually, that's how you figured out you were a fantastic cook. Was that a crit or something?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I critted most of my cooking rolls as well, hilariously enough.
I think that's why you got cooking.
Yeah, it was why I got cooking, and then I ended up every time I did it, it was like either a really good success or just crit. It's like, okay then.
Oh.
The cooking servitors
Fucking-
program could not keep up.
Oh man.
I need to see what I can do with this much influence.
It's
hire
hilariously not that much, unless you literally spend it for good. Like, because keep in mind,
Yeah.
a rare item has a -20 or -30 to the requisition test in 2nd edition. So Waldo's 47 with a -20, 27% chance of getting it, plus or minus any other additional, like what world you're above, how far you are from a world that can get you the item, yeah. At least 2nd edition does let you buy things for influence as well. Yeah.
I mean, this is why you get peer, so you don't have to deal with shit.
That's why you be a jammy fucker and you get peer Mechanicus, because the Mechanicus make everything.
And that's why you get. Because fuck them Robo boys.
All the weapons, all the armor, all the cybernetics. All made by the
That's
Mechanicus.
why,
Like,
that's why you steal every single thing that isn't nailed down to the floor. So you can use it for, increasing your odds in trading.
This is true, Raccoon. This is true. Although, we don't have to be the scavenger. Well, you don't have to be the scavengers that we used to be. Jumping on a corpse before it's truly dead, like ripping the armor off. Give it to me.
Of course we have to. Are you kidding me?
So, keep in mind that on your requisition lists, the loot lists that you're putting together, basically this week will be the last week for you to add things. Can you also add any stuff that you want to bring from the world itself? Some things you may need to justify to me when we come back to the game or when we go into chat mode after this.
Mary, Dave.
So, this is where we come to an end. Thank you all so
The
much for
Hive
watching.
City.
I certainly hope you've all enjoyed and are looking forwards to season 3. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, everyone, and as always, bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Praise corn.
Yeah. Don't praise corn. Praise the
Puppy.
mash.
Praise only
Cool.
corn.
Corn upset the doggo. No.